Okay? Yeah. I don't know why it's there, but it's there. Okay? The Royal Arch of Freemasonry. And there in the middle of the arch is what's called the Keystone. What is the Keystone State? Pennsylvania. Why? Because it was at the center of the 13 colonies. Where was the Declaration of Independence written? Where was the original seat of our government? In the Keystone. Okay? And I'll tell you more about the Royal Arch here in a little bit. Up from the White House, 13 blocks exactly, you have the Masonic House of the Temple. There it is from the outside. Now I want you to notice that it looks funny, doesn't it? You have what looks like a Greek Parthenon, and on top of it, a step pyramid. Okay? This was designed to be modeled after one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the ancient mausoleum, the temple, or the mausoleum of, I'm going to pronounce the name, Halicarnassus. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I couldn't figure out why, but I know St. Louis. And I know that if you go to St. Louis, you're going to see that same thing. This is on the Civil Courts building in downtown St. Louis in a direct line from the St. Louis Arch. And I want you to notice that the face of the top of this building, you have a temple which is 4 square, 4 sides, and you have a pyramid which is 3 sides. Now what's 4 plus 3? 7. Albert Pike explains what that number means and what that number represents. He says 7 is the sacred number in all the theogonies and all the symbols because it is composed of 3 and 4. Okay? 3 plus 4 is 7. So 3 represents the earthly realm, 4 represents the heavenly realm, and when you combine them together, you get 7. And 7 represents the new race of men, the new bloodline. How many heads does the beast have? 7 heads, okay? He's telling you the secret. He says the square, therefore, is a natural and appropriate symbol of this earth. The compass is an equally natural and appropriate symbol of the heavens. The compass is the hermetic symbol of the creative deity, male, and the square the productive earth or universe. He's telling you the secret of the square and the compass. The compass represents the heavenly, and the compass, did I say that right? The compass represents the heavenly, the square represents the earthly, and they're mingled together. Sons of God, daughters of men. And what's in the middle of that square and compass? The G, representing God's knowing good and evil. Okay? Take a look at it. And thou sawest that iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. That's what this symbol represents. Mingle themselves with the seed of men. Notice we have that same layout in Washington, D.C. You have the Capitol building at the base. You have Washington's monument at the top. The street layout makes the square and compass. And the phallic symbol of Washington's monument represents the sons of God. And that woman on top of the Capitol building represents daughters of men. Sons of God, daughters of men. Sons of God, daughters of men. Jacob and Boaz. Take a look at it. Sons of God, daughters of men. Notice the sun over one. Notice the moon over the other. Notice that he even calls them out, pater and mater, which is father and mother. And they form a child there in the center. Notice on the graphic on the right hand, you have on one column, Jacob, you have the symbol for the stars of heaven. And on the other column, you have a symbol for the earth. And they're united together. Sons of God, daughters of men. And what did we say that the pillars represented in the Bible? The DNA code, the human genome, the chromosomes. Are we learning the secret of Freemasonry? It's there in all of its symbols. Somebody say amen. Remember that story about the ladder in the Bible? Let's look at this verse. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And when Jacob saw this, he said, Lo, this is the house of God, and these are the gates of heaven. Did you know Freemasons use a ladder as one of their symbols? Look at the symbolism. Heaven united with earth. Sons of God, daughters of men. The ladder is DNA. The bridge between heaven and earth, DNA, sons of God, daughters of men. How about the Tower of Babel? Take a look at it. They said, let us build us a tower whose top may reach where? Wow. It's interesting, isn't it? How many have ever heard of the Maypole? Mayday. Look at what they're doing. They're twining the DNA on the pole that reaches from heaven to earth. Huh? It's a prophetic act, okay? A pathetic act, amen? A prophetic act, and it represents the sons of God and daughters of men intertwining in the human DNA. And by the way, May Day is what day? May 1st? What day was the Illuminati formed in 1776? May 1st. Same day, the communist birthday. That's exactly right. Now we're learning some secrets, aren't we? We're understanding some secret things here. Are we starting to believe it now? Sons of God, daughters of men. Sons of God, daughters of men. From the Da Vinci Code in Rosslyn Chapel, we find the apprentice pillar. Notice what it looks like. Reaching from earth to heaven. Combining heaven with earth in the DNA code. This was made 500 years ago. DNA structure combining heaven with earth. Have you ever heard of squaring a circle? Has anybody ever heard of that? Does anybody know what it means? I don't either. Yeah, it has something to do. I'm not a mathematician, okay? I'm just not good at this stuff, and there was some of this that I didn't understand. Hopefully somebody watching this video, I'm not going to try to be smarter than they are, okay, because I'm not, okay? But what we found out that squaring a circle is an impossibility, because to find the area of a circle, you use pi, and pi is an infinite number. It never has an end, so you can't use that number to have a square that matches the area of a circle. Notice Da Vinci in his Vitruvian Man, notice what he's doing here. He's squaring the circle. See it in the middle there? He's squaring the circle. And when you go to draw and by the way, the circle represents the heavenly, and the square represents the earthly. Sons of God, daughters of men. Sons of God, daughters of men, and their offspring, the Vitruvian Man. That's what Da Vinci drew. And so Freemasonry has two main symbols. A compass, which draws a what? A circle, the heavenly, the sons of God, and the compass, which draws the square, which draws a square, the earthly, sons of God and daughters of men, squaring the circle. Now look at, in Freemason lore, they have what's called the winding staircase. And when you go between the two pillars of Jachin and Boaz, where the DNA is, and you ascend the winding staircase, that's where you find the light of Freemasonry in Solomon's new temple. Sons of God, daughters of men, DNA code. This is real stuff, isn't it? It's in all of their symbols. Have you ever seen this symbol before? Albert Pike in Morals and Dogma tells you what this symbol represents. It looks like a Christian symbol, doesn't it? You would think, wow, if I go to that church, they have Christians there. Actually, it's a Masonic symbol. Albert Pike said that the cross represents the heavens. Actually, the cross is a vulgar symbol. The cross represents the male. The crown represents the female. Sons of God, daughters of men. Sons of God, daughters of men. Are you getting it? So you pass by churches and you'll see, okay, that symbol there. I think it's an invitation. Okay? I think it's an invitation. Okay? I'll move on. The Pythagorean theorem. Here's another mathematics thing. I think I get this one. Okay? The Pythagorean, I can't even say it. That, okay? That right angle triangle up there. Take a look at it. This is a Freemason symbol. And it says, now notice on that right angle triangle, notice a right angle, 90 degrees here, okay? And on the left-hand side, you have the area of one of those bases, and on the bottom side, you have the area of the other base. And the Pythagorean theorem says that the area of one base added to the area of the other base equals the area of the hypotenuse, or that angled side. Does everybody follow me so far? Notice you can count the cubes there. 16 plus 9 will always equal 25. Okay? Albert Pike described this. I had to read it to find out what it was, and he told you what it was. He said that one of those bases represents heaven. And the other base represents, guess what? Earth. So one of the bases represents sons of God, and the other base represents daughters of men. So when you add those two together, you get the new children of Belial. The hybrid race. Okay? That's what that symbol represents. Guess where it's at? Washington, D.C. Okay? Perfectly laid out. Sons of God, daughters of men, a new hybrid race. Okay? What is a sphinx? Freemasons use this symbol. What is it? Half man, half beast. And Albert Pike described the sphinx that is in Egypt by the 3 pyramids. And he said that sphinx is guarding the secret of Freemasonry, telling you what it is. A hybrid race, half man, half beast. Sounds far-fetched, I know, but what saith the Scriptures? God said, my face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for robbers shall enter into it and defile it. The secret place was the temple, by the way. Leviticus 11 says, whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all four, notice that word, that number, whatsoever hath more feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them shall ye not eat, for they are an abomination. You shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that you should be defiled thereby. For I am the Lord your God. You shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy. For I am holy. Neither shall you defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. God said, don't do it. You'll defile your temple. Deuteronomy 22, thou shalt not sow thy vineyard. What did we say the vine represented? The double helix of DNA. With diverse seeds. Lest thy fruit of thy seed, which thou hast sown, and the fruit of thy vineyard, be defiled. 1 Corinthians 3, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy, for the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. Jude was describing the false prophets of the last days. And he said, likewise, these filthy dreamers do what? They defile the flesh. This is where we're headed, folks. This is where all of the religions are taking mankind right now, including Laodicean Christianity.